Welcome to ACNO's tutorial. In this tutorial, I will be giving a brief overview of the Department of Defense Planning, Programming, Budget, and Execution System process, or what we call the PPB process. This tutorial will cover the basics of the PPB process, its objectives, major deliverables. The DoD procurement process is made up of three individual processes. These individual processes are the acquisition process, the program planning, budget, and execution process, or what we call the PPB process, and the joint capabilities integration and development system process, or what we call the JCID process. The acquisition process focuses on the management and execution of all DoD programs. The JCID process is focused on identifying capabilities that are required by the DoD to carry out its mission. It's focused on determining the needs of the military and developing requirements to satisfy those needs, requirements that will be executed by the acquisition process. The PPB process is focused on the financial management and resource allocation for current and future DoD program. It's basically the funding process for any acquisition program in the DoD. Each of these three processes make up the DoD procurement process. However, these are not standalone processes but integrated. Each process is vital to the successful execution of the other processes and any DoD program. The PPB process is focused on the financial management and resource allocation for current and future programs, is established by the Secretary of Defense, who provides the priorities and goals of the DoD. The planning phase of the PPB process determines what capabilities are needed for the future from strategic guidance. Strategic guidance that includes the national security strategy, national military strategy, national defense strategy, strategic planning guidance, joint programming guidance, and the quadrennial defense review. The PPB process is the definition and examination of alternative strategies, the analysis of changing conditions and threats, threat technology and economic assessment in conjunction with efforts to understand both changes and the long-term implication of current choices, and examines and determines the needs for the DoD for the next 5, 10, and 20 plus years and beyond into the future from strategic guidance. The programming phase of the PPB process is the process of balancing and integrating resources among the various programs according to certain priorities. It begins with the development of a Program Objective Memorandum, POM, by each DoD component. The POM provides a detailed and comprehensive description of the proposed programs, including a time-phased allocation of resources, basically force, funding, and manpower, by programs projected 6 years into the future. After the POM is developed, senior leadership in OSD and the Joint Staff review each POM to help integrate the DoD component POM into an overall coherent defense program picture. The budgeting phase of the PPB process is the process of convincing OSD and Congress to provide the necessary resources and then balancing the checkbook to ensure these resources are spent in accordance with the law. The budgeting phase occurs concurrently with the programming phase. Each DoD component submits its proposed budget estimate simultaneously with its Program Objective Memorandum POM. The budget converts the programmatic view into the format of the Congressional Appropriation Structure, along with associated budget justification documents. The budget projects resources only 2 years in the future, but with considerably more financial detail than the POM. For more information, visit the budgeting process section of acnotes.com. The execution phase is the real-world application of the planning, programming, budget, and execution process. It runs conjunctionally with all the other phases. Several events must take place before the DoD can execute a program. 1. The President signs the Authorization Appropriations Bill passed by Congress. 2. The Office of Management and Budget must appropriate the appropriations provided obligation and budget authority. 3. The Department of Treasury must issue a Treasury warrant providing cash. 4. Program authority must be released by the Undersecretary of Defense, Comptroller. And finally, all these authorities must be loaded into the program budget accounting system. Well, that concludes this brief tutorial on the PPB process. I hope you found it informative and worth your time. The process can be very complicated, and we only gave you a very high-level overview of what it is. But for more information, please visit acnos.com. Thank you and have a good day.